Here. J.P. Johnson. J.P. Phillips.
Here.
J.P. Hicks.
Here.
J.P. Matt.
Here.
J.P. McNeely.
Here.
J.P. Hall.
Here.
J.P. Swafford.
Here.
And J.P. Howard.
Here.
Thank you.
Next item of business is disposition of adjourned proceedings. If there's no corrections or additions, I need a motion to approve the previous minutes. Jack, motion to approve, Chuck, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I think Jack knows.
I think Jack has.
Okay, need a change to it.
Is what?
Make a change to it.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, the portion down right, the lower part here up about Holiday Island, or Western Carroll County, Homeless District, there was no money involved in that, there was just a discussion about the system. And it drops on down, the county now is operating off of 155, 174, and there's some areas on 400 megahertz. They were looking to move into the 700 megahertz in the future.
Yes. I'll make those two corrections.
Any more corrections? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Larry?
I think most everybody here probably knows it, but there might be some in the audience that don't. J.P. Johnson's father passed away, and the funeral was at 2 o'clock this afternoon, so I'm sure that's the reason he's not here. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
Anyone else? Changes to the agenda. Don't believe we have any, do we? Next item of business is public comments. 3 minutes. Anyone wish to speak? Raise your hand. Okay, we'll get on to miscellaneous. Kelly Mack, would you like to introduce?
Yes, Olivia Foster with 4-H is here to give us an update on what they've been doing. And she assured me they're not here to ask for money.
We're not, and I did forget to pass out these folders. Wouldn't mind if you want to pass me around. My name's Olivia Foster, for those of you that I haven't met. I'm the Agricultural Natural Resource Agent for Carroll County, as well as the staff chair. And you guys have all met Tamara Allen. She is our Public Consumer Science Agent, and she's also serving as our 4-H agent for the time being. And so we just wanted to give you guys an update on what we've been doing through Extension. Let you guys know that the county's money is being well spent, and kind of tell you what we've been doing for the last year. So in the ag area, I really did a big push in beef and forage for the last year. In the year previous, 2017, we only sold like 20-something hay samples, and last year I did well over 200. So we did a bunch of winter feed meetings where we brought in some people from Little Rock to analyze their feed samples, hay samples, get them some balanced rations. We also developed the Young Cattlemen Series of Carroll County. That program just graduated its second group in February, so we've run through that twice. But with that program, I was asked to go speak about that in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where it finished third in the nation for young farmer programs. So we developed that here, so we were pretty proud of that. And then I also went and presented about that in St. Louis at the American Forage and Grassland Council, because they also wanted to implement it in some other states. So we were pretty proud of that program and what all it's done. We had our contacts more than doubled last year in the ag compared to the year previous. We're doing a lot of work right now. We had a lot of problems with nitrates this year, so some of you farm. So we've been staying busy with that. We've had a couple of people lose cattle, but that's given us the opportunity to really get out and develop some new programs. We had a couple of drought meetings to keep people aware last fall as well. And then a class that I've got coming up this week is feral hog control. That's going to be on Thursday, so we're trying to keep programs relevant. We did several programs last year just in the ag sector. We also have a great 4-H program. It's growing and growing, and Tammy's done a lot of work with that. We've got a great group of kids. They're doing a lot of volunteerism. They did several fundraisers last year, several thousands of dollars to different areas that they thought were in need. You guys can see that there in your little handout. We try to make those user-friendly, and they're doing it again. We had a 4-H'er that's house burnt down last Friday night, and so the 4-H rally, then before the weekend was over, they already had a barbecue benefit organized for April 8th and went ahead and have done a bunch of silent auction items. So we're really tickled with all of our kids. It's a family affair, and it definitely shows in times like that. We're in Berryville Public Schools already. We've moved to Eureka. Green Forest has been talked to, so we're excited to get some programs started there. I last week was in Green Forest for 3 days doing Wagon Masters, which is a program where we teach them about the barter system, finances, budgeting, different public speaking. It's a really good program. It's a 3-day course that we do with 5th graders. So we're really tickled with everything we've got going on, and I'm trying to talk fast so that we have to talk about it and give Tammy some time to talk too. But we put the highlights of our programs in here for last year, so you guys can see in just one page, so they don't go on and bore you. But the big points are highlighted. And then we gave you some examples of our newsletters, too, over here. And then I was going to give Tammy a few seconds to tell you what she's been doing in SPS and SNAP. And
Well, you know, a success of our program, and the highlights for your program are our volunteerism programs that we've had. And so 4-H is a volunteerism program, teaching kids how to give back philanthropically to their community, but also with our EHC group and with our Master Gardeners, we're always giving back to our community in different parts of the county, not just in Berryville, but in Eureka Springs and also in Green Forest. If you've seen the gardens that we've produced in the summertime, then that's from our Master Gardeners. It's not from us because we can't get to them. Our EHC group, I put a sample of amount of money, and Miss Olivia did too, of how much money that we actually produce by volunteerism through those 2 groups, and they do a lot of volunteer groups. So we appreciate you guys letting us continue to do our job. And if there's anything out there that you see that we need to add to what we're doing, please let us know.
so we just want to tell you guys thank you and give you an update. That's it. We didn't need anything.
Next item of business is Matt, would you like to introduce?
This is Jeff Hadley with the Ozark Regional Transit. He comes in when we do his report. Yes, sir. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the court. My name is Jeff Hatley. I'm the Public Information Officer for Ozark Regional Transit. I realize I was here as recently as November, but I'm trying to get it to where I'm here about every 6 months, and so this is trying to help me get back on track a little bit. We had a bit of a better year last year overall. And so far we're doing better this year. As you know, we had a major fire back in 2017, and we've really been licking our wounds since then. But so far, year to date overall, we've had 21,465 riders, which is a 5.5% increase from this time last year. In Carroll County and Berryville, we had 86 passengers in February, of which 8 were wheelchair bound. In Carroll County, we had 41 passengers to date in 2019. That's a little bit down from February of last year, but if you remember back in November, I reported that we were up 28% for ridership as of that time, so it's kind of an ebb and flow. We did receive a grant back in April of last year to replace some of those buses we lost in the fire, and on April 3rd, we're going to have some of our folks go up to Indiana and inspect those on the assembly line, and hopefully get those coming to us about mid-April. We did have to delay the receipt of those by a couple of weeks due to the government shutdown. We recently received 4 brand new minivans in February, and we retired 3. One of them had almost 300,000 miles on it, so we do get we squeeze many miles out of them as we can. And then last thing is that we're switching our tracking software. It's going to be where we can give better data to our municipalities, more so for bus stops, which we don't have that here in Carroll County, but it will help us give more accurate accounting of who gets on where and where they get off and that type of thing to help build a transit system going forward. And then, last time y'all had asked me to reach out for, the veteran services here in Carroll County. I found out the gentleman's name, but I've not been able to reach him. So, if I can, I'll just leave a business card here, if somebody can just, get that to him, Alex Brown, I believe is his name, so. That's all I've got, but I'm happy to answer any questions or comments or concerns.
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering if you could get that ridership data, sent to Connie, that she could get it out to us so we have it.
I actually sent that out today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, our IT guy got it to me on the 12th, I think it was, 12th or 13th. And I thought I'd already sent it out, but I looked today and I hadn't sent it out yet, so I sent it today.
Okay, great, thank you.
Did you receive it today?
No.
You haven't? Okay. From Connie?
Uh-huh.
What's your last name?
Doll.
Okay.
D-O-S-S.
I'll make sure that you're on my list. You typically get it?
I can get it and I can get it out.
But I mean, do I typically send it to you each month? I have just a group that I
Oh,
send it to.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Sure.
But do you normally get it?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. If
Okay.
you wanted to get to the fourth court, I'll be happy to do that.
Okay. What I'm asking is, have you got it in the past?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm new. I just started in January, so
Okay.
I need to probably give you my card in the office after if you're gonna hang out.
I'm actually about to leave, but
Okay.
I can call Matt and find
Yeah.
out. Okay, yeah, we'll get you going.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Next item of business is Bo Allen. Bo, are you here?
He had to leave, and he said he'll get back with us another time.
Okay. Next item of business is old business. We have none, so we'll go to new. Number A, will you read it, please, Ms. Connie?
Yes, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 2017-40, the 2018 budget ordinance for year-end record keeping by amending the appropriation of various county funds.
Move to adopt.
Move to adopt, Chuck, second, any discussion? Yes?
This was hot off the press. You've been working on, Connie's been working on this quite heavily. It was 4 pages, and she talked to the auditors this last week, and we found out we can reduce this down, be a lot less painless as we get through it. And, then any questions she can explain to you.
Anyone else? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrow,
Yes.
J.P. Phillips,
Yes.
J.P. Hicks,
Yes.
J.P. Mack,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
Yes.
J.P. Swafford,
Yes.
and J.P. Howerton.
Yes. Next item of business is B, would you read it, Ms. Connie, please?
The appropriation ordinance allowing vacation pay in lieu of taking off from work.
Move to adopt.
Okay, moved and done, Matt, second. Any discussion?
Kelly back here has accumulated enough vacation time that he's gonna start losing if he doesn't get paid for some of it. Send the employee handbook to buy back up to 20 days. One little glitch in it, we're gonna try to get this corrected if we get with the personnel committee. The personnel handbook shows that we'll pay that at the end of the year, but it really should have read, we'll pay it at their anniversary date. It's just a couple words difference that we need to, some of y'all get together, we'll try to get that changed out, but that's the only difference in it, just go ahead and pay him now instead of waiting till the end of the year to do so.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrow,
Yes.
J.P. Phillips,
Yes.
J.P. Hicks,
Yes.
J.P. Matt,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
Yes.
J.P. Swafford,
Yes.
and J.P. Howerton.
Yes.
Y'all are getting cold now? Okay.
Next item of business is C, would you read that, please, Ms. Connie?
I will. A supplemental appropriation ordinance amending ordinance number 2018-46, the 2019 budget ordinance, and appropriating money for internet connection in offices of the county judge, Department of Veteran Services, and funds to courthouse east for storm damage repairs.
Move to adopt.
Jeff moved to adopt, Matt second. Any discussion? Jeff?
Okay, this is, we collected about 11,000 on damages, we took 7,000, sent it to the airport last month. I should have done this then, but I didn't call the numbers. The $4,840 was what's left over, will be spent on this building. And then when dispatch was moved, the veterans office and the judge's office was tagging on to the internet out of there. And so it's been pulled, adequately been pulled out and changed. And so they're gonna have to get their own provider. This is what the $800 per department is for their internet connections here.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrow,
Yes.
J.P. Phillips,
Yes.
J.P. Hicks,
Yes.
J.P. Matt,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
Yes.
J.P. Swafford,
Yes.
and J.P. Howerton.
Yes.
Next item of business is D. Would you read that, please?
A supplemental appropriation ordinance amending ordinance number 2018-46, the 2019 budget ordinance, and appropriating funds received for the Department of the Sheriff.
Move to adopt.
Jeff moved to adopt, Chuck second. Any discussion? Jeff?
This is, I'm glad to see some of this, they're getting rid of, out some of their junk, and one man's junk's another man's cash. And so, the thing is, when they sell this stuff, it goes back into county general, and it has to be moved back out into the certain line item. This is what this is doing, so.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrow,
Yes.
J.P. Phillips,
Yes.
J.P. Hicks,
Yes.
J.P. Matt,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
Yes.
J.P. Swafford,
Yes.
and J.P. Howerton.
Yes.
Next item of business is E. Would you read that, please, Ms. Connie?
A supplemental appropriation ordinance amending ordinance number 2018-46, the 2019 budget ordinance, and appropriating funds received for the Department of County Detention Facility funds.
Move to adopt.
Jeff moved to adopt, Larry second. Any discussion? Jeff?
Okay, this is those, I understand this is those old furnaces that we took out of the detention center and scrapped them out and sold it for scrap metal. And, again, this goes into county general, and it gets transferred back into the detention.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrow,
Yes.
J.P. Phillips,
Yes.
J.P. Hicks,
Yes.
J.P. Matt,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
Yes.
J.P. Swafford,
Yes.
and J.P. Howerton.
Yes.
Our next item of business is F. Would you read that, Ms. Connie, please?
A supplemental appropriation ordinance amending ordinance number 2018-46, the 2019 budget ordinance, and appropriating funds received for the Department of 911 Services.
Move to adopt.
No second.
Jack moved to adopt, Matt second. Any discussion? Jack?
Again, this is just some equipment, I believe, was taken out of the old dispatch room, some desks and stuff like that that was sold within the county general, back into the, since the other.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrell,
Yes.
J.P. Phillips,
Yes.
J.P. Hicks,
Yes.
J.P. Mack,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
Yes.
J.P. Swafford,
Yes.
and J.P. Howerton.
Yes.
Our next item of business is under G. Would you read that, please, Ms. Connie?
I will. A supplemental appropriation ordinance amending 2018-46, I'll correct that, sorry, the 2019 budget ordinance and appropriating funds to the Department of Foreign Court.
Move to adopt.
Jack moved to adopt, who second? Matt. Any discussion? Jack?
I promise I won't hold this next month, I'm not coming to the courthouse all month. This is money, there's not enough in there to pay for, it costs quite a bit to post all the ordinances. And there wasn't enough money put in there for some reason from last year. And also, there's money there for special meetings and for committee meetings to get this back up to where we could have enough to do a year.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Farrell,
Yes.
J.P. Phillips,
Yes.
J.P. Hicks,
Yes.
J.P. Mack,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
Yes.
J.P. Swafford,
Yes.
and J.P. Howerton.
Yes.
Looks like the next item of business is JP comments, non-agenda. Do we have any of those? Chuck?
Just want to inform the rest of the JPs and also the public that the county is going to contract with Harness Roofing of Harrison to put some rain gutters on our buildings, downspouts, and some tin covering our parapets, I can't say the word, that are getting real porous and starting to leak a little bit, so. They're coming over and talking to the judge on Friday, and shortly after that, we expect the work to commence.
Anyone else, Jack?
A couple of things. First thing, we talked in the last budget meeting about we're converting the old dispatch into a new office for the judge. And then we're moving veterans into the judge's office up here. And, we've already got appropriated money for that and an account for maintenance in this building. So we'll, I think the bid was $8,600 to go in there and put sheet rock on the walls, put in new floor paint, and put a petition in. And, secondly, we spent a lot of time on talking about these radios. Sam's here. You know, I have brainstormed this thing a little bit. I still think we need to get a lot of players involved, because we're on borrowed time with these radios. You know, I understand we had some problems last week with the radios. I monitor on my phone some. We're getting interference from different places. And if the equipment we've got now, if it goes down, you know, we're pretty much dead in the water. And, I see one of the ditches smiling, like it's probably gone down a couple times, hasn't it? But anyway, you know, I'll probably get shot on the way home. But guys, I think the only answer to this thing is trying to do a sales tax to pay for this thing, because we wouldn't want to do a millage, because that's not fair, you know, because I would probably say, not when an officer's in here, but I'd say 30 to 40% of our calls regarding these radios is from people passing through or non-property owners. And so I think everybody coming through here needs to be, and, Mayor McKinney was supposed to be here tonight. He's kind of looked into it a little bit, and his suggestion was to, you know, if we get this thing passed and money left over in the thing, we'll go back into roads. But, and maybe a sunset clause, 5 years, whatever. It's gonna cost, there's no way I can think that we can come up with $24 or $5 million in the next 3 years. And, we can't come up with the payments, the principal on that kind of money is gonna run about $500 million a year on a 12-year loan. And so, I'm open to suggestions, I don't know. I know Sam back there has tried, he's working with some used equipment, he's trying to buy what used equipment he can, but I can remember back, some of y'all old enough to remember this, when I first come here and got into it, we was running what they call a 3710, which was just one step above the CB radio. And, we moved into the 154, 170, 155, 174 megahertz, and it was great. But as we went along, it's just like the CB radio. I mean, more and more people get on there. And, I've done this at Holiday Island. A person from Springfield wants to use a frequency pretty close to my frequency. Well, they would sign off on a deal and interfere with you, we will pay to fix it. Once they start using it, you can't prove it's them or anybody else. It's just like the old skip used to bounce in on, and so what it is, you just keep crowding more and more and more people. I forget, probably 5 or 6 years ago, Benton County went to 400 megahertz just to get away from it. Well, now they're getting ready to go on up to 800 megahertz because 400 getting crowded. And, the only answer is money. And, we're a small county, we don't have a lot of income, but, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm open to suggestions, Sam's trying hard, yes.
So does anyone know how you would proceed to start down that road? To sales tax? Right, it has to go before the people, but how do you get to that point, Sam? Can you give some guidance for that?
On the ambulance tax, you all voted to put it on the ballot. I'd say it would probably be worth.
That is a millage, though, not a sales tax. Is it any different, do you know?
Not that I know of.
You don't believe it would be?
No different, no.
Thomas, could you answer that question for us?
I believe it would be the same as the millage. You guys would have to vote on it, and then it would go before the people for them to either approve or disapprove. I can look into that and, email you, county judge, and let you know what I find out on it. I believe it would be the same way.
Jake?
It's the second year, we are having some problems. I mean, there was a time last Saturday night when there was like 20 minutes where we could not speak to dispatch. We could speak to them, they couldn't speak back to us. So there was about 20 minutes. And I do like the fact that Sam is getting with I know he got with Mayor McKinney last week, and I hope that the other mayors are involved and chiefs. And I would just say, if you guys represent a city, that you certainly speak to your mayors and chiefs. I would hope that you do that, but, there is a problem, for sure.
I think we definitely need to get the chiefs and the mayors together, because I think they all need to pitch in on this. Definitely need to get them all in one room together and discuss some point.
All right.
Discuss them all.
I think the only way that you might get a sales tax passed is if you work it out where it's a countywide sales tax, and it pays for the city's radios and the county's radios, because your people that live in the city are going to be paying it too. So they're not going to feel like it's fair if they're paying for the county's radios and then they have to turn around and pay for their own too, because it's going to be taxing everybody in the county. So it should be updating and making the whole system better radio-wise and everything for the whole county. That's with the exception, I don't know what Eureka will want to do on this, because they have their own dispatch and stuff. But as far as the county and the cities of Berryville or Green Forest, those people inside those city limits are going to be paying the tax, so it should upgrade them too, and it might pass that way.
Sure.
I was just gonna say the same thing as Larry is, right now, everybody except for Eureka Springs goes through Central Dispatch, so we're all connected. So we would all have to be one big organization and make it work.
Larry?
And with that said, there's another part to this. It's not necessarily a bad thing that Eureka is not on board with us, because they are the backup communications for the rest of the county if ours goes down, and we're the backup for them if they go down. Am I right?
Yes, sir, the PSAP people asked that they, be taken off as far as the backup goes. I wrote to Renee Hoover is the lady's name, and asked that she, I'm sorry, Renee Hoover was the lady that asked that Eureka, PSAP, backup be taken off. I wrote to her and asked that they not be taken off. Part of the proposal, of the, P25 equipment was to make them a backup dispatch. And, the computers that run the system, they'll have one, geographically distinct and different, computer than the one over here, so if something happens to Bearable, Eureka can do it, and if something happens to Eureka, then Bearable can do it. Yes, sir.
Was that just one person that had the idea that they didn't want to be backup for us, or?
That was a pretty important person,
But I mean, do they not appreciate the fact that we're also a backup for them?
well, this person is down in Little Rock. I mean,
Oh.
it's not a local person. Anyway, that's still to be determined. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's fantastic that they're about as far away from us as they can be. So that's yet to be determined. Anyway, I haven't heard back from Renee, and when I do, I think it's important.
I do too.
That's a question for our manager. Looking at timeframe, when, if we were elected to try to propose a sales tax, when should that be done?
Yes, ma'am.
Second question, this year is what you're saying?
Yes, it needs to be done this year, because it could go down tomorrow. I mean, this is not like anything else the county's got, because say one of the sheriff's cars broke down, he's got another car, or put somebody in it. The radio system goes down, we don't have enough. And, you know, me, I've never broke into law enforcement and fire. Nothing's more disgusting than get on that radio and can't get some help. You know, and it could be a life and death situation on the road. And so we don't know when it's gonna go down, it's gonna quit, we just don't know when. And so we need to start on as soon as possible, because it's nothing you can do overnight. It's gonna take a couple of years to get this thing totally up and going.
Don?
Is Eureka they're on different systems, or their radio compliant with what Sam's wanting us to take them, or about the whole county's going to get this system? You know, are they getting the same system over there as the rest of the county? Sound like they were separate.
Larry?
Can we still be backup for each other?
Yeah,
Okay.
because, now the P25, like I said, it's got several options in the radios that can do, you know, you just put it back and forth,
Ms. Earl?
Well, I had a question about the timeline with the election too, and I guess we need to at some point figure out exactly what election that would be on what date, and how to get it going, because that process can take some time. But my other thing is, so if it has to be a county-wide sales tax, if that's what we're discussing as an option or an idea, then, so Eureka would be paying, and Eureka's visitors as well would be paying that sales tax, but they would not be part of the system? I'm trying to understand if I got that right.
Larry?
Now, everything except the city limits would be, because now the county still dispatches all the rural area. Okay.
Chuck?
The money is going, the biggest part of the money, the big ticket is going to the repeaters, the towers scattered out through the county. Because when you get on the radio, you key it up, you say something on the radio, it shoots the tower and repeats it in a more powerful communications and goes back out. So Eureka's using the same repeaters, and, you know, they would be using the repeaters that we're building, so yeah, they'll get the benefit of it. Am I right, Sam?
Yes, sir. Eureka Police have a radio system, Eureka Fire has a radio system. Dispatches for Eureka Fire all over the place. I mean, not just, you know, the Western Carroll County Ambulance District, but in Eureka itself. Right now, the Eureka Police cannot get to the sheriff's office if they're down in downtown Eureka. At one time, the previous police chief was looking forward to P25 for them. That would alleviate the problem of police officers in downtown Eureka not being able to get to the sheriff's office. So it's their choice. Like Jack was saying, the infrastructure will be on the different towers around the county, and it would be up to the individual police departments and individual fire departments if they wanted to participate. The P25 equipment that we have, dispatch, was made backward compatible for the legacy, and 75-cent word for the old stuff, and we can still make it compatible. So I would hope that as their radios get older and older, they would go ahead and go to P25. I think they'd like it a whole lot better. But yes, ma'am.
This person in Little Rock, can you explain better who that was and why they're an important person and what?
Well, they're the 911, the PSAP person, and as you know, I guess there's a bill or something in the Arkansas legislature to reduce the number of PSAPs. One county has 6 of them, and we have 2 of them. I think that Eureka needs to stay. And I could get, I guess I can look it up, her exact title. If you give me just a second. All right.
I was going to say, can I also add that right now, the only election that we have on the books right now is just the school board election on May 21st. So, you know, this is an off year. Probably want to keep that in mind as well, because those costs will be deferred then to the current court for the cost of that election.
You mean it would be a special election?
Yeah, that'll have to be.
Now, you know, obviously that can change from every time or whatever.
This may be a dumb question, but can we join a school board election? Are they not? I've never seen anything else on with a school board election. Now, we may be able to, but I just don't remember ever seeing anything else on this.
Well, I think the law that is passed, it's actually the school board elections are tagged on with, what was it, either the primary or the general, and then they chose which one they wanted to be on. That's why we just had the school board election with the November election.
Okay.
And so, you know, they chose this date because it would have been the primary kind of season, so that's why.
Don?
Sam, Eureka St. Louis be not on the ballot? I mean, will they not vote on this, or will they be out of it, or what? It sounds like, you know, they're exempt or something, but they would be,
Yeah.
The May would be too soon. It wouldn't give you enough time to sell it. It's just gonna take a pretty good selling program. And it'd be later in the year.
Chuck?
Yeah, I think we need to clarify a little bit about Eureka. As I understand it, and just correct me with that, the Eureka Police Department basically is the only entity in Eureka that's solely by themselves. The ambulance district, the fire department in Eureka, and everybody else works through the county. So Eureka has just about as much skin in the game as the rest of us. So Eureka would be part of this, a big part of this. And like I say, they need the radios also, and equipment.
Renee is the administrator of the Arkansas ETS Board. And she was the one that we got the money reimbursement for the 911 equipment from the first of the year.
So how much authority does she have to tell us what to do?
I don't know.
To be determined?
Yeah.
Larry's first.
In your opinion, if we make her mad down the line, is it gonna hurt us on getting grant money and things like that?
I think that she'll work with us. I think if we can give her a legitimate reason, that we would like Eureka to be a backup. And I don't know that they necessarily have to be a PSAP, whatever that acronym is. We can transfer our lines to anyone we want to. So we could still transfer them to Eureka. Eureka could transfer their lines to us. The only requirement for them to be dispatched is they have to have enough lines to handle our 4 911 lines, and they've got 6 telephone lines, so there's no problem there. Whether you call it one thing or another, I think it's advantageous for everybody concerned, including the folks down in Little Rock, that Eureka helps us out. Madison County was our backup. They got upset at us earlier because they can't handle our traffic. I talked to Benton County once, haven't talked to them since about being a backup, but again, we can transfer our 911 lines to anybody.
I was talking to someone the other day, Sam, this question is directed to you, and you may or may not know the answer, but there is a movement afoot in Little Rock to decrease the number of, let's just say, 911 centers, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we're spending all this money right now on our 911 center. Is there any talk about the fact that our 911 center would be in jeopardy of us losing it and being part of, like, say, Benton County or Washington County or something like that?
Not that I'm aware of currently.
That's something that's been brought up. We spend all this money, all of a sudden they say, sorry, you're not needed.
Anyone else? Mr. Earl?
So as far as the election goes, so are we talking it either needs to be 2020 general election or a special election? Is that our options at this point?
You should have a primary that'll come first next year, so that'll probably be your next closest date.
So we could combine it with the primary, which would be, what is that?
It's set by the Secretary of State's office. But it'll be around the same time as this year, around May 21st. Around May.
Way less turnout for primaries in general.
Yeah, there are, but,
John?
Are we done with this? I just want to change subject.
Just quick, I would think waiting another year to do this would be, we need to do it sooner than a year. It'd have to be a special, I'm afraid, so. I'm done.
John? Larry?
Do you have an estimate on what a special election would cost now that we shut down, don't have as many,
I'm afraid I don't. I would have to do the research and I'd have to see what that would cost. I'm afraid I just don't have that yet.
I know there was a time it was in the $10,000 to $15,000 area. That's when we had 20-some voting precincts and you had to pay everybody to be at them and all that, so.
Ms. Kelly?
Sharon Hoover's husband, is he still?
Dave.
Is he still ahead of elections?
Yes.
I could ask her on Thursday, what he thinks about that.
Yeah, he won't, he probably won't have costs. He'll still have to ask me for costs.
We continue to receive information in our packets on the airport stuff. Did anyone see anything in there that they have a question on?
Chuck?
Yes, that drawing there, I was a little bit confused.
This one?
Yeah, what are we looking at?
They are in the process of writing the grant to replace one of their old hangars, the one right below the main terminal building. It was gonna be enlarged a little bit, as everything has been out there almost.
But I mean, excuse me, but are we replacing this middle guy here?
Yes, that one. And you see the shaded area, it's gonna be the one that they will propose to go back to be a little bit larger than the one that's there. The one that's there is the one that's just like an open shed barn. What they're proposing to put back there is a completely enclosed, like the one that's on the opposite side of the runway, on the, what would it be, the south side, I guess, that's where the newest one is, that they're just now completing. There was also a page that lists all the grants that they have received over the years and the status of those grants. As you see, there's still just one open, and that's the one that's completed.
Anyone else, Jack?
Steve, are you gonna be communicating with them about that mowing or something?
Yes, yeah. They're kinda at a quandary, like we talked, their mowers wore out, or they say that it is. I haven't looked at it myself, but they're trying to figure out what they can do. Michael has in the past done all the mowing himself. He's unable to do that anymore after his back surgery, so they don't know what they're gonna do.
Ms. Farrell?
I just was wondering about this, thing about the showers, did they make a decision?
When they seen the bid, they just dropped that.
They're not gonna do the showers?
Right, that's correct.
Don?
How's the electrical inspection coming along for the courthouse here?
Jack?
He was supposed to be here tonight, they had an illness in the family, he will be here next Monday and Tuesday night. He's gonna do it tonight, he's got to shut the power off in both places, but he'll be here next.
Right behind you, there's an outlet with no cover, 39 cents.
That's no problem.
Anyone else?
What's the tone?
We have the road foreman with us tonight. Jim, do you need to say anything?
No, not really, other than we're trying to get some of the work done, this weather's killing us, you know. I mean, we're getting a lot of, you're probably hearing from a lot of people about the potholes, but like I said, the graders are doing what they can, and every time they get a road graded, it comes through the rain and messes up, so they're out there doing the best they can for you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I think we've already discussed this before. There's an audit I'm supposed to read to you. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office has been cleaning up the scrap on their property. We had 3 court orders to dispose of the items. There were 4 console desks out of the old dispatch, 14 heat and air units that were replaced, 2 vehicles that were decommissioned and used for scrap, parts and 2 old scrap mowers, a total of $1,655.73 was deposited into county general, and tonight's appropriation ordinance puts the money back into the correct departments. We're getting ready to start the task of scrapping old miscellaneous equipment that has been stored in the old jail cells, much of which were never in inventory as they were not at the purchase price of $1,000 to begin with. We're also in the process of preparing a room for reusable equipment, monitors, telephones, printers, cables, and so forth. The room will only be used for working equipment that has been replaced with updated items. And we didn't get it on here, but we've scrapped some old wore-out tin horns, wasn't no good for anything this week. If it had a good piece in it we could use, we'd cut it out and kept it. And I believe up to now, they've sold about $3,800 worth this week. $3,792.85. So if anyone else have anything they'd like to say, if they don't, I appreciate you all, and I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Matt made a motion, Mr. Earl second, all in favor?